9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0.
Women's Wrestling Talk, the #1 women's wrestling network on the planet.
Happy Friday, WWT Universe. This is your timeless elite, your PR princess, Stone Cold Courtney, whatever you want to call me on this Friday edition. This is WrestleMania weekend edition. Now, even though some of our team are on the ground during WrestleMania weekend, that doesn't stop us from having a show on the night before, on the night of the Immortals. Plus, we have bold predictions happening. We're going to preview SmackDown, and we're also going to talk about what happened on AEW on Wednesday. And make sure to check out in the chat, because I put our website down. We are doing a voting on who do you think is the Queen of the Ring and the greatest of all time when it comes to women's wrestling. So make sure to check that out. Super Chats is open, and feel free to chime in because we have a jam-packed Friday edition. Shout out to Eric Isaac in the chat, and we'll have more coming. And shout out to our producer from the future, Dylan, for joining us. But thankfully, I am not alone. And I'm always excited when it's a ladies edition of Women's Wrestling Talk. I'm very excited to have her part of the team. And let's give a big warm welcome to Miss Hope in the building.
Hi, everybody. Happy SmackDown Friday. Happy Hall of Fame Friday. Happy WrestleMania weekend. It's crazy. It's here. How y'all doing?
It is. I know. It's finally here. We've been talking about this for weeks, for a year. Well, last year we've been talking about it, but here we are. It is finally here, the showcase of the Immortals.
Oh my gosh, it's like so excited. Any fan, this is it. You live for WrestleMania. For me, it's not even about the matches, as crazy as that may sound. I get hyped for Hall of Fame. I get hyped for the entrances. The entrances are insane. You know, the guest appearances. You know, it's WrestleMania, y'all. And I am just truly excited and humbled to be working alongside you, PR Princess, this evening, and to be a part of the WWT team. Seriously, this is truly awesome, especially WrestleMania weekend. Thank you for having me. And hey again to everyone in the chat.
Yes, we have the showcase of the the showcase of June baby. Yeah, because we are June babies. I mean, hey, Dylan. I mean, it's nothing wrong with that. But you know, there's so much happening. There's so much good that's going to come out of it. And you just said it, the Hall of Fame. I mean, we're going to preview SmackDown shortly. But the big buzz that's been happening throughout the entire internet, we just found out Saraya, formerly known as Paige, signed a new deal with WWE, courtesy of PW Insider. This is a developing story that has been circulating since today, like earlier in the afternoon before we got on. So this is currently a developing story. There's been a lot of alleged chipper that she might be a part of WrestleMania weekend. But Hope, I just wanted to get your quick thoughts on this. How do you feel that Paige is planning to come home?
Welcome back. You have been missed. And of course, she's going to be a part of WrestleMania weekend. The timing of it, oh my gosh. The question is, whose match is she going to be a part of? Is she going to be a special guest referee? Or is she going to make a quick run to the ring and do something we may or may not like and impact an outcome? We shall see. But welcome back, girl. We missed you.
We did miss her. Shout out to Jeffrey in the chat. It's just been a minute because even after she got released from AEW, there's been a buzz on when she's going to come back from WWE, when she's going to do this. I know she's at WrestleCon throughout this weekend in Vegas, but I'm really happy to see the anti-diva back where she belongs. And it's going to be very curious on what spot she's going to fill in. I know, Jeffrey, you said she'll fill in for Nikki, but it's a possibility she could fill in for her foe, AJ Lee. Becky's match, that could be a possibility because the last time AJ was at WrestleMania, the two of them teamed up together against the Bellas. So that's another possibility. But so happy to see Paige come home. This is a developing story, as I mentioned, courtesy of PWI Insider. Hopefully, we should get more details soon on when that happens. But going from soon to be returned lady to another trailblazing female that unfortunately was gone too soon. 10 years ago today, the ninth wonder of the world, China, unfortunately passed away. I remember the news broke out and in the morning, and it just really kind of hit me in a way because people don't realize that she is a trailblazer and is still talked about to this day. But Hope, I just wanted to get your quick thoughts on, did you have any good moments of China? What do you remember about her? And just still being talked about to this day as being an inspiration to all the females currently today.
Oh my goodness. I still remember when she first appeared and had Marlena flinging her around like a little rag doll, and everyone was like, holy crap, who is that? Who is that? And without question, she made an impact. She was very appreciative of her fans. I had the opportunity to chat with her briefly many moons ago. Very appreciative of her fans. Great wrestler, great performer, definitely deserves her spot. I do think it's ironic that, though I'm definitely happy for Stephanie's induction into the Hall of Fame, that it would fall on the same date as the 10-year anniversary, if we want to call it that, of China's passing. But with that being said, she is missed. Hopefully, she will get her place, her rightful place, solo in the Hall of Fame. God bless you, lady. You are missed. You were something else, girl. Her with Eddie Guerrero, and just so many moments, truly.
There are so many. Unfortunately, I didn't get to watch China in present time because I was still young and not in the Attitude Era. But I am familiar with the impact China has done. And really, I'm just very happy that she's still talked about to this day. Jeffrey mentioned she was the first woman to hold the Intercontinental title. She was with Eddie Guerrero playing Mamacita. Also, she was in Playboy. That kind of skyrocketed. And you remember the Stacker 2 commercials that she was in. Everybody was falling for China. And I still have it on VHS when she was at the 2000 MTV Video Music Awards alongside The Rock. So that was definitely something that really bringing that into mainstream. And also just showing that even though she's muscular, she can still bring it as a woman, bring that feminine energy, and just paving the way for so many women like the Beth Phoenixes, the Jade Cargills, the Megan Bains of the world. And Jeffrey, you mentioned first woman to be in the Royal Rumble, and that was groundbreaking at that time because you didn't see many females take on that spot in the Royal Rumble match. But China definitely should get her flowers that she deserves. She definitely deserves to be a solo in the Hall of Fame. I would be ecstatic if it was, I don't know about in Saudi next year, but maybe the year after we can happen. And before I talk about China, I am so happy because this is the ladies edition of Women's Wrestling Talk. And also, I'm happy to have my pageant sister with me, Victoria Waco, in the building. How are you?
Hey, oh my God, we got home from dinner. I'm like, I'm running upstairs. See you later, hubby.
You couldn't miss it because it's WrestleMania weekend.
It is. And oh my God, China, my love, my happiness, my everything.
Yes, we were talking about it because 10 years ago today, unfortunately, it was her passing. So do you have any memories or thoughts regarding China?
So China was one I can remember when she premiered. This is how long I've been watching wrestling. I can remember her like grabbing Terry Reynolds and like shaking her like a rag doll. If anyone remembers that scene, because Hunter was feuding with Goldust back in the day. But my favorite memories of her, I loved her and Eddie. like some of my favorite moments of her was when she was with Eddie Guerrero and like the roses and the whole thing. Yeah, so she was just like, I always say, like, for me as a woman who watched wrestling, like in that era, right, it was all about the beauty. It was all about the big boobs, the this, the that.
Mhm.
And China was like one of the first women. I was like, wow, you look different. Like, did I look like her? No, I was 12, of course. But it made me feel like, oh, you can look like being a woman and being beautiful doesn't look the same for every single person. And she was the first one that made me feel like, oh, you could have muscles
She
and be
can.
beautiful because I thought she was gorgeous.
I mean, all the guys were flaunting. You remember the Stacker 2 commercials that she was in, and all the guys were flaunting over her.
Understandably so. I mean, and Victoria brought up a great point because China was there with when Sable was at the top of the list, when Sunny was there, Marlena and Jacqueline, a host of other folks, the bra and panty matches, if you will. But you know, and I have to say, when she had her enhancements, I have to say, oh, China, why did you do that? You don't need to do that. But it worked, and she was truly forever truly one in a million, truly missed, and she needs to be solo in the Hall of Fame. What is this, 2026? 2028.
Yeah,
2028.
2028. We're gonna skip a year ahead. We'll do it for 2028. But that is our memories of China, because the words that she said, don't treat her like a woman, don't treat her like a man. That's just who she is. But before I get into news for AEW, I know Dylan has been itching for this. We're just going to preview SmackDown at the top of the hour. It's the night before WrestleMania, obviously, of course, at the top of the hour. And I will say this, there will be no Honey Night SmackDown because today is Honey's birthday. Yay. So we here at Women's Wrestling Talk want to wish a happy birthday to our sweetest oos. Hopefully you have a wonderful birthday because you deserve it. You deserve a night off. Hopefully Patu treats you right. But there will be no Honey Night SmackDown. But at the top of the hour, 8 p.m. on USA, we have an Andre the Giant Battle Royal. Not sure who the participants are, but we'll find out when we watch SmackDown tonight. We're also going to have a big multi-man tag team match between the Wyatt Six and the MFTs. This has been going on for the last couple months, so hopefully this can end it right here and we can move on to other things. We're also going to have ahead right before the big fatal four-way tag match for the WWE Women's Championship. We will have Alexa Bliss and Charlotte Flair taking on the team of Lyra Valkyria and Bayley. And we're also going to have a Women's United States title #1 contenders match between Tiffany Stratton and the returning Jordynne Grace. Happy to see her back after sustaining an ankle injury. And we're also right before their big unsanctioned match. We're going to hear some final words between Jacob Fatu and Drew McIntyre. And who knows what's going to happen between these two men, because they will be kicking off night 1 of WrestleMania. And also, we're going to hear final words from Cody Rhodes, Randy Orton, and Pat McAfee.
We have
so,
to.
Pat too. But all this and more is happening at the top of the hour tonight, 8 p.m. on USA Network. And I just wanted to get you ladies' thoughts. Is there something, a match or a segment that gets you very ready for SmackDown tonight?
I will always love Fatu. I love Drew, but Jacob freaking rocks. They're going to bring it down. They're going to bring the house down. They always do. So Jacob and Drew, without question, for me.
Totally on the same page. I mean, I cannot wait to see that match at WrestleMania. I hope it's fabulous. I just trust Drew so much with a match like that to know what to do. And but I'm very curious to see, they're planting the seeds that Tama Tonga is having issues with the MFTs. So I'm very curious to see if they're going to use this multi-man match as a way to like push that forward. And like, are we seeing the end of the MFTs? What are we seeing next? But my real concern with that is I have just like such a heart for the Wyatt Six as someone who like loved Bray Wyatt and loved this like imagining of stuff that was clearly in his head at one point. And I feel like they've just kind of not ran with them the way I had hoped. So I'm worried for them that once this feud's done, what does that mean for them? So like I'm excited to see, but at the same point, like my heart's like, no.
They haven't
would-
done what they were supposed to do with them. I mean, I think everyone, again, but that's creative. I'm sorry, PR Princess. I didn't mean to cut you off.
No, that's okay. You can finish what you have to say. You can
No,
finish.
no. I just wanted to follow up with what she was saying. I think a lot of people are disappointed with the way the Wyatt Six has been handled throughout. I mean, it started off beautifully. Everyone was in motion. The fireflies were there. I mean, I was there in person. I'm sure all of us at some point have experienced it live, the music, the smoke coming in. And then all of a sudden, crickets. Like, okay, where are anybody from the Wyatt Six? Anybody?
It's like well, Shinsuke has been talking to Tama Tonga backstage, so we've seen a lot of interaction between Shinsuke and Tama Tonga because those guys know each other from the New Japan days. Like they go way back, but that's really interesting. I'm also very like Jacob Fatu, Drew McIntyre. I mean, that match is going to kick off WrestleMania Saturday, so I'm very curious on what they're going to say. Also, with the fact too, I mean, the ladies, Charlotte, Alexa Bliss, Bailey, Lyra Valkyria, they're going to have a match. You can tell there's going to be some shenanigans in that match. There's going to be some shenanigans, but those ladies are definitely going to bring it. And also, look, I'm excited to see Cody and Randy, but really, Pat McAfee? Really?
The first time when he first spoke, it was fine. It was on point. It was shocking. I don't know what the heck happened last week. I was just like, oh my God, how long has this been going on? Was it 19 minutes? Seriously?
Yeah. I feel like everyone, when Cody was like, go home, Pat, I was like, you should have went home with that promo like 6 minutes ago, Pat. Like, land the plane.
And also, I want to point out too, if anybody that's a sports fan and watches ESPN, Cody Rhodes trashed Pat McAfee's office during his show. So it's on socials, by the way. But that is our SmackDown preview ahead on the night before WrestleMania. Friendly reminder, after SmackDown is over, the WWE Hall of Fame will be airing afterwards. So make sure, because it's going to be late for us East Coast people. But for people that live in the West Coast, you guys will be watching it. And don't forget to see some of the inductees: AJ Styles, Stephanie McMahon, Psycho Sid, Bad News Brown, Demolition. Everybody going into the Hall of Fame, and it's going to be a fun time.
Oh,
now
we just have to hope no one gives a 2-hour speech. That's all. We'll be good if no one gives a 2-hour speech.
But we have Hunter's wife going, which means he did an hour last year.
It was 2.
I blocked out parts of it. That's how long it was.
And shout out to our mayor said, well, regarding Lola Vice, you better talk to Boss Lady TK and you will see, and you should tell her that in person since you both are on the ground at WrestleMania. I'm just saying, you both are on the ground. So if you want to take that up, I know Lola Vice, she's the new NXT Women's Champion, but if you want to order shirts, tell that to Boss Lady because she handles that. Now, that was our SmackDown preview, and we're going to get some news regarding AEW. I mean, I don't have to address it. If you saw my watch along for Dynamite, we have a new AEW World Heavyweight Champion in Darby Allin beating MJF. Darby Allin's one of the pillars for AEW. He is the first person to be a Triple Crown champion in AEW because he has the TNT, he has the tag title, and now he has the AEW World Heavyweight title. Before I share my thoughts, does anybody want to go first on their thoughts regarding Darby Allin winning?
Go for it, Victoria.
So, I was a little surprised. I mean, like, it was a choice. I just feel like your main draw, I mean, like, maybe in a smart way, now their main draw is going to be chasing, hopefully getting the title back, right? Like, if you're thinking storyline wise. Happy for him as a person. It's not like anything against him as a performer. I just think, like, he doesn't draw as much, like, that's just my, like, opinion of it. But I will say, as you all know, I'm a really, really big Road Dogg Jesse James fan, and he was elated about this on TikTok. So, like, maybe I'm not seeing this correctly, but he was super excited, and, like, he's my boy, so I'll, like, give him his moment. But yeah, I'm very curious what is next, because that is my concern. When you're, like, the person, you're taking the title off the person who sells the most tickets, in my opinion, for AEW.
Oh, without question, MJF is MJF. We all know, or should know, he's getting the title back. Oh yes, he will be, barring no injury, he'll be a champion many times over. But for me, I am in agreement in the sense that even though I was definitely familiar with Darby and was appreciative, I didn't hate him, but I didn't love him. But when he won, I was legit moved to tears because I understood his background, what he went through, and to get the seal of approval from the man called Sting, that did it for me. Yeah, look, Victoria, I remember Sting when he had the spiked blonde hair, okay? So for me, seeing him with that color hair now, it's like, oh my God, what's happening? But wow, congrats to Darby. I hope he enjoys it because, yeah, MJF will get it back. Yeah. But congrats.
Normally, I usually save my stuff for something, but I have to address the elephant in the room, and it's not against Darby, because I saw everybody's reaction, and half of you narcs of the world were bitching and moaning and complaining about Darby being 90 seconds. You didn't even give that reaction when Brody King beat MJF in similar fashion. Let me tell you something about Darby Allin. Like, great it. Darby, I will ride or die for Darby. If you have not been paying attention to AEW, if you never even watched the promo, you have to understand him and MJF have a history together. And this goes way back before AEW was even created, because somebody posted on social back in 2011 that they met in the independent stage. And this has been long term, because I will say this, for everybody that's complaining he should have won it 4 or 5 years ago, half of y'all would still be whining and bitching and moaning that he won the belt. Let's just be very clear on that. And John Cena is right. Fans are fickle because you don't know what you want. Darby Allin's been fighting this for God knows how long. And even if you said he was going to beat Moxley, you still would have been complaining about it. So I'm glad that he didn't lose the belt to Moxley. He lost it to a familiar rival like MJF, and they've had their battles. You think Tony Khan was going to have Sting fly in just for Darby to lose?
That part.
There was no way that was going to happen with the icon Sting. And with the fact, too, even though Dynamite was in Everett, Washington, the last time it was in Seattle, Darby's hometown, who did he beat for the TNT Championship? Samoa Joe. And with the fact, too, that everybody was whining, saying, well, Darby can't wrestle against men twice his size. If you've been paying attention, he faced off against Brody King, who was twice his size. He beat Samoa Joe, twice his size. Also, with the fact, too, he's faced off with against a lot of top-tier stars in AEW since the beginning. He has bled. He has fought. He even climbed Mount Everest. Have you done something death-defying and were able to come back and was able to win the championship? I mean, I get it with 90 seconds, but if you need to find a workhorse for the AEW World title, it has to be Darby. So freaking what? He doesn't do the certain image that everybody talks about. You said the same thing about Chris Jericho. You're saying the same thing now with CM Punk. You said the same thing about Bryan Danielson when they were all champions. You even said the same thing when Jeff Hardy was crowned champion. Because I remember when Jeff won the title and he lost it in less than a month. And that was really sad. So you know what? I'm happy Darby is the face, because if you need a workhorse champion to put on matches, let Darby do it. And with the fact, too, he's interacted with many guys in AEW. There's a few he probably never even interacted with. So I don't know how long he's going to hold the belt for. I'm hoping he does have a solid good run. MJF's going to come back. You have Kenny Omega. You got Will Ospreay. And also, hint, hint, you got Swerve Strickland on deck. And Swerve and Darby know each other very, very well, with the fact they're both in the Pacific Northwest. And you don't think Brody King, him and Darby could go round 2? So honestly, for all you narcs out there in the world, stop whining, stop moaning and complaining. And if you don't like AEW or their brand, or if you haven't watched it, just don't watch it. It's not that hard to do. And that's my pipe bomb for me.
So Courtney has just taken us to PR Church.
It was something, because Denise said this too. I said this as well, because, you know, look, he's not what everybody wants. Like, so what if he's not like a particular person that you want? I remember when people talked about Chris Jericho when he won the Undisputed title, and people were talking crap about him because of his size. Same thing with Rob Van Dam when he was WWE champion. Some people didn't even see that. So it's like,
Still popular.
He's still popular. And you have to realize Darby Allin is popular within AEW. Granted, he hasn't done much mainstream as MJF. I mean, I guess because I follow most of their roster, but he does skateboarding. Like, he did an initiative with Tony freaking Hawk. How many people can say they do it with Tony freaking Hawk? Not many. And with the fact, too, he's going to be part of a series that AEW is doing with Adult Swim. Like, he's doing little things. Like, he's done the red carpet. He has done little mainstream things, like right before he got the belt. So hopefully he does get that opportunity. And I think he's going to be on that new show that's on TBS that does the pranking, because him and Singh are going to be on it. But, you know, just let that man hold his belt. I'm hoping he has a good, solid reign. He provides a workhorse ethic. He's going to be facing off against people, and just let it ride.
You made a good point, Hope, about, I think Courtney, you mentioned it too, or someone in the comments did, about like his family was there. It was like this huge moment. And like, I think, Hope, you said you cried. And it reminded me, I'm curious about people who were there in person, because I remember being at WrestleMania 40, and Cody winning and like crying, hugging people. It was like this communal moment of like, even like the guys next to us were Roman Reigns fans, but they still were like, the moment itself of seeing it happen was so beautiful that it just like made everyone happy about it. So I'm just curious, like, because obviously I watched it, but like, I wonder about someone who was there, because I feel like when you're there, the feeling, you know, like there's something about live events. I wonder what it was like for the people in that arena that night.
I think because if it was in Everett, Washington, since that's not far where he trained, and just seeing the entire crowd was with him. Like, I mean, I've seen it like in other arenas, but this in particular, since the Pacific Northwest is home. Obviously, Everett's not that far from Seattle. And with the fact he had his family there, he had his dad, he had his newly bride there. He had his new bride that was there, all of his family and friends. He even said it at the top of the hour that he was putting advertisements on all the blocks of Everett, Washington, because he wanted people to come out to this show.
And you brought up a great point, Victoria, because even though I wasn't there at 40 Live, that WrestleMania, my face was wet. That was the first time I could say it was an emotional WrestleMania. You had, now I was crying for opposite reasons. I wanted Roman to retain, but, but when you think back on it, Stephanie's return, no one saw that coming.
Yeah.
That was emotional. Damien finally cashing in that damn briefcase. That was emotional. And then even with Cody's winning, if you remember back when Roman got to the top of the ramp and not necessarily collapsed in Paul Heyman's arms, it was almost as if, even though he knew what was going down, it was like, damn, it's really over. And you could see it in his face. And that's when I broke. I was like, oh my God, what is wrong with me? Why am I crying? It's like, oh my God, they all know about this. I was like, why? But happy.
It was happy, happy tears.
Yeah. And with Darby, again, for me, for Stinger, for him to be willing to fly out and be there for him, love him or hate him, that's it.
You can't hate Sting. Nobody can hate Sting because he has so much. People respect him. And I heard he's one of the nicest people you ever meet. Like, you cannot hate Sting. But another thing that you cannot hate is actually the Women's Wrestling Archive, because it's done by our boss lady, TK Trinidad, because we get to celebrate the past, the present, and the future of women's wrestling.
Women's wrestling didn't just show up yesterday in glitter boots. We've been here the entire time, body slamming through history.
The Women's Wrestling Archive launches 2026, and it's going to pave the way for all women's wrestling.
Because if we don't document it, a man might think he did it first.
This has been a passion project for a very long time. Head over to the womenswrestlingarchive.com to donate 1, 5, or whatever you can. It all goes a long way.
Let's give these women the spotlight that they've always deserved.
Her story belongs in history. Help us preserve it today. Join us at womenswrestlingarchive.com. Support the archive. Support women's wrestling. Donate today.
Support everything that you need for the Women's Wrestling Archive. $1, $2, $3. Anything that's happening in the Women's Wrestling Archive. So since we're talking about WrestleMania weekend, because the rest of it's going to be about WrestleMania, this was actually an interesting story that came out. So Nick Khan, apparently he had an interview speaking at Wednesday's CAA World Congress of Sports in Los Angeles ahead of WrestleMania 42. He talked about many different topics regarding Saudi Arabia at WrestleMania next year, and also pretty much talking about the feedback that he got. And he addressed WWE fan criticism. And he pretty much goes on to say, I have never read X or Twitter as it relates to our business, and I've certainly never read it regarding me. That is a vocal minority, he says, on the sports business journalism. And then he kind of echoes what's ahead of WrestleMania 41. Pretty much he goes on to say, as much as we listen to our audience, we won't listen to social media and respond. We think it's a small percentage of voices who have a big microphone or megaphone in front of them. It's a mistake to respond to your business based off of that. You've got to base it off your guts and the results. And then he also kind of went into detail regarding the fans and the complaints, saying some of the complaints are, I didn't like the match. You guys are pieces of shit. And I go, okay, I got it. And some are, hey, we had an obstructive view. Okay, we'll have to come to our next show. People are allowed to complain, but we don't adjust our business based on complaints. We adjust based on ratings, revenue, and relevancy.
Sounds like him.
Right? I mean, what you say and what you do are sometimes not always.
It's never the same. And well, number one, read the room. And obviously, even though you say it's a small percentage of fan complaints, once you see that revenue drop, then that's a problem right there. That is a big problem if the revenue drops. And we have talked about this the last couple months regarding fan complaints, not reading social media. I don't want to say I agree, but there's like a silver lining in all this when it comes to socials, because I do think it is best to read some socials, even though you don't want to. That's why you have a social and media team to do that, because God forbid if somebody says something crazy, then that's where you have to report it and address it. And especially with the fact too, I don't know what happens internally, but you got to take constructive criticism. You may not like to hear it, but that's one of the things too. And God forbid, like, you know, with Saudi happening next year, I don't even know what to believe, especially with Saudi next year, especially in the fact we are in the middle of a circumstance that's happening right now, but that's a different conversation for another day. But I usually don't have mixed feelings when it comes to it, because at the end of the day, it's about revenue and money. And also it's a power struggle, because we've seen the power struggle happen between Triple H and TKO. And we've seen TKO trying to get themselves involved in creative in one of the storylines. Pat McAfee, I'm looking at you. So this is going to be something internal has to do. And I mean, if I was on that PR and media team, I would kind of be looking very closely saying, what did you just say? Because some of it seems out of reach.
And that's part of the problem, because no one speaks up. They're afraid of losing their position. And, you know, Nick, he's a busy man. He's a busy man. He's a smart man. He's a money man. I don't know if he's necessarily a wrestling man. And that's part of what's going on. You know, Triple H, say whatever people say about him, he's a wrestling guy. He was one of the boys. To some degree, he'll always be one of the boys, regardless of the role. But at the end of the day, it's no longer their WWE. It's TKO's WWE.
And also, I need to know if he's actually a wrestling fan, or if you ever watched wrestling before. That should be an interesting question.
He was friends
Right.
with The Rock.
Well,
I mean, my whole thing is,
should be
if you don't like online fans, if you don't like, you know, you don't care about what we think, or like the people who post videos, then why do you constantly use them for promotions? Why are you constantly pulling all those videos of online creators reacting to moments to promote that you did something great?
How about another theory? How come you use influencers who never watched wrestling before, or can't even name more than 5 wrestlers? Unfortunately, some of them don't even know who Cody Rhodes is, and that's very sad. And he's a reigning champ. That's the sad part.
I can't. Oh, well, let's not forget WrestleMania this weekend. What are they, 20,000 not sold out per night? That's 40,000. That's, even though they'll make money, there's going to be some serious conversations at the end of this, unless something or several things happen, and it still can't. It's not, I think it's too late for ticket sales at this point. But if they have a phenomenal night one, they can still pull it in for 2 by way of the ESPN subscriptions.
Well, hopefully we shall see, because that's going to be a long-term conversation after WrestleMania. And also with the fact too, even though you have Backlash and Clash of Italy, your next big 4 is SummerSlam. And that's a 2-night event in Minneapolis. So they got a lot to do between that. And unfortunately, it's going to be in Saudi next year in WrestleMania. So yeah, that's another conversation with that. But we're going to continue on. So this has been bottling up, and this is WrestleMania. Apparently, courtesy of PWI Insider there. And this is something that we've seen most of the time during WrestleMania weekend, actually any weekend regarding the big PLEs. There has already been some concerns among talent about the WWE hotel this year. Last night, there was no additional security beyond the hotel itself. And since the hotel is part of a major casino, there was no real ability to restrict the flow of fans. Tons of fans in the lobby camped out by the elevators, mobbed everyone they saw, even referees trying to get photos and autographs. The hope among the talents we heard from is that there will be some additional measures taken tonight to assist them when they are coming in and out. all the WWE appearances yesterday were beyond mob, to the point some of the places hosting them were overwhelmed. And I also want to say too, regarding that, I have seen some on socials floating around that some fans were actually waiting on airports in Las Vegas, not traveling. They were just waiting by the airports.
Wow. It reaches a point, I don't have a problem saying it. I've been to hotels before, but it was during a time when we weren't anything to worry about. We went, we got our autograph and picked, and we bounced. That was it. And sometimes we didn't. We read the room, and security knew who we were. They were fine, blah, 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 blah. But what's happening now, we're in a different time. Social media definitely plays a role in it as well. I've always warned, friends, colleagues, what have you, and especially those in the wrestling business or those in the public eye, be mindful of where you say you are when you're traveling. When you take selfies, it's not saying it's their fault, certainly not. But if you take selfies in certain areas, people are going to figure things out, especially if they want those unwarranted autographs or aren't necessarily fans. They're just trying to get money or what have you. I am a little bit surprised though, because usually, even though sometimes security can be iffy at the larger PLEs, WrestleMania, they're usually pretty on the ball. So that actually surprised me a bit, and hopefully things will be tightened up the rest of the weekend.
Victoria, you want to add anything in there?
I mean, people want to wait at airports. Please, like, for the security and safety of all people trying to get on and off planes, please don't do that. But yeah, I really hope that security gets tightened up. I think that you would think they would have a better plan, considering this is their second time doing WrestleMania in Vegas back to back, that they should know better, like logistically, how to make this thing run better. But I don't know. I think maybe I'm more sensitive to it because everyone knows I love me some Rhea Ripley and the news that's come out about what she's dealing with most likely something that is coming from anxiety, I would assume, or like, I'm not a psychoanalyst. I can't tell you, but there's clearly stuff going on and pressure going on that is causing her problem, where like, leave her, like, let her have some peace, people, and let her do her thing and be ready for what she has to do, considering what she's going through. So like, that's probably why I'm a little more sensitive to this. When that news came out, like the mama bear in me was like,
yeah,
like, let's go, let's take, but I think all of them, right? They are athletes. And like, as a fan of like sports teams, think of them like any other athlete, right? Like, I'm a Sabres fan. It's our first playoffs in 15 years. No one better be bothering those hockey players at all. They need their sleep. They need their rest. They need to go do what they have to do. And they need to be ready to play on Sunday for me. Because that's what they need to do for me. But I think if we respected them more like that, more like athletes who are getting ready for the Super Bowl of their sport, like, they deserve to not have to be extra stressed out by this. They should be able to not have to worry about this. So, and I recognize that going to the World is expensive. Going to all the signings can be very expensive. And I think maybe that's where some of this is coming from. And I think maybe TKO needs to look at that as part of their strategy. How do you alleviate these issues? Maybe you make it more accessible for people in proper channels to get the autographs and photos that they want.
I think that's something they need to think about. And also with the fact too, because we say this many times on Women's Wrestling Talk, because we don't like to see any wrestler stop being weird, because they're human beings. They have families, they have children. And like I said, I can see why a lot of them don't disclose their relationship status, especially the ones that are still in the market trying to find dating. I can see why they don't disclose it, because of stuff like this. And I don't blame them, because they probably get so many thirsty and creepy messages I couldn't even imagine. And Victoria, you brought up a point regarding Rhea, because when they were in Paris last year for Clash in Paris, if you saw the clip Rhea Ripley was completely mobbed by fans, holding their phones out in the air, recording it, and not giving it decency. And that's just a perk to me because I need to protect some of these because you need to give them space. Like that's always something too. And it's not just in WWE, it's everywhere. And also WrestleMania weekend is definitely a big weekend. So that's just something that they need to do. Like respect their space, respect their privacy. And even at one point, Kevin Owens was talking about it. Somebody was knocking at his hotel room while he was caring for his son for one weekend for Kevin Owens. And I'm like, really? In the middle of the night where he was trying to take care of his son. And it's like, there's just no boundaries. And Jeffrey, he said this too regarding Stephanie Vaquer. Hope you and I were talking about regarding what happened with Stephanie a couple of weeks ago.
Stephanie, even Rhea. You know, someone sent something. Rhea had to put out a post a few months back saying that fans were sending things to her home. How in the heck did you get Rhea Ripley's home address? What?
Her
That's
and Elena.
Okay. That's why they got fan services.
And Elena Black, too. Formerly known as Cora Jade. Elena Black was dealing with the same stuff as well. And that's just something to be mindful. And I hope they do get extra security, especially during this weekend, because I know there's a lot of events happening at WWE World. Some of them are doing signings. Also, boss man, Tony Khan, you need to think of doing security for Wembley when you come back, sir. But, and also I'm doing TNA too, even though they're kind of under fire for controversy. They need to worry about, for Slammiversary, they need to get security. But hopefully they get it right regarding that because we care about the safety and presence of all the wrestlers. But since we are in WrestleMania weekend, it is time that we get to do bold predictions for WrestleMania 42, Las Vegas, Allegiant Stadium. We're going to kick off with night one, and we know what the two of the matches are going to kick off during the ESPN2. Unsanctioned match. Drew McIntyre, Jacob Fatu. Victoria, who do you got?
I got Jacob. I think this is his moment to push forward.
I agree. I love Drew, but I'm going with Fatu.
I think it's going to be a clean sweep. I mean, I love Drew McIntyre. I love what he's doing, but I think it's time for Jacob Fatu to get a win. And I think this is his first second. I think this is second WrestleMania singles. Second year as a singles wrestler.
And isn't Drew getting ready to do a movie or something?
Soon.
Highlander.
Yes. So this is going to Jacob.
And I also love Drew best when he feels like he has been wrongfully lost. Like Drew does the best promos when he's like, you did something wrong to me.
Mm-hmm. True.
Wow. It's a clean sweep.
He'll be back after Highlander. He may get belt again for however long, but Fatu.
He will be back before SummerSlam. He'll be back before SummerSlam. So, but it's a clean sweep because we're all picking Jacob Fatu. And then another match that's going to kick off night one as well. We got Logan Paul, Austin Theory, Ice Show Speed taking on the Usos and LA Knight.
What was going on with Jacob? Wasn't he in an altercation or something earlier this week?
No, it was Jay. Jay wasn't. It was during Cameron's podcast. And
okay. It's I don't know. I think Paul Heyman may be a factor in this one. Depending on whether or not his shenanigans pays off, but I'll go with LA Knight and the Usos. Provided
I think it'll be LA Knight and the Usos. I think that the curse that I Show Speed has on him by Danhout will be the reason. I think they will do something really fun where he will do something to mess this up. Yeah.
Well, I'm picking the Usos and LA Knight only because I just like LA Knight, and it's not the match I want for him for WrestleMania, but he's on the card still, I guess. But I Show Speed, the curse is still there. There'll be a lot of shenanigans regarding that curse. So, yep, I'm picking LA Knight and the Usos for this. But those are the two matches that are kicking off night one on ESPN2. And then after that, you can watch it. But then we're continuing on. We have a fatal four-way match for the WWE Women's Tag Team titles. We have Alexa Bliss and Charlotte Flair, Bayley and Lyra Valkyria, the Bella Twins. And here on Women's Wrestling Talk, we call them the Bougie Bullies, Nia Jax and Lash Legend. That's what we call them here on WWT, the Bougie Bullies.
I actually think the Bougie Bullies will retain unless our girl Paige takes the place of the Bellas as one of the surprises. I believe one of them hasn't been cleared. I think it's Nikki who hasn't been cleared.
Correct.
Yeah, so I'm going with the Bougie Bullies unless Paige is in this match.
Victoria.
All right. So I am thinking it is going to be Bayley and Lyra. I think that Bayley has kind of been like left to the wind lately and like kind of forgotten. And this is a big complaint I have about WWE is how they've treated Bayley. And I think this is their way of making it up to her, saying you're going to have a win at WrestleMania, considering she lost her spot at the Royal Rumble multiple, I think this was like the give back to her, what she deserves. This is not like she's undeserving of that. She's insane and amazing, and I adore her. And I actually think Paige is going to be more of a factor in the AJ Lee match than possibly being inserted here. That is my thought of how they would use her best. So that's why, I love your idea, but I'm thinking that they might save that for the AJ Lee match.
It's funny, we were talking about that earlier before you hopped on. We were talking about that earlier too. I am actually going to pick the Bougie Bullies to retain this. I mean, I love Lyra and Bayley as a tag team. They definitely do have the chemistry, but there's just something about Nia Jax and Lash Legend. I want them to continue that reign a little more. And actually, Nia got teary-eyed when she talked about Lash Legend being her tag team partner. So I want the Bougie Bullies to continue their reign as WWE Women's Tag Team Champions. And we're continuing right on. We have, and we were just talking about AJ Lee. AJ Lee, Becky Lynch for the Women's Intercontinental Championship.
Oh boy. It depends again with Paige, whether or not she interferes, how they use her, how they interject her. I mean, they could make her guest referee. I mean, it just depends. I do like AJ Lee, but I'm a Becky girl, so I'm gonna go with Becky Lynch. It's WrestleMania.
Victoria.
So I love myself some AJ. It's interesting. I was not a huge wrestling fan back when AJ was active. That was kind of when I was not watching as much. But I've kind of fallen in love with her as a person over her interviews and the things her and Punk have done. And I don't know, I hated Punk also, and he's grown on me over the last couple of years. So I think that if they use Paige how I think they are, I think they're going to have AJ lose to Lynch because of something Paige does, and that's going to spiral into a storyline with AJ and Paige.
That is interesting. Very interesting. These ladies are definitely going to definitely deliver a banger match. I think this will be sleeper match of the night for me. I got to go with AJ Lee. You may be living in Chicago, but you're still a Jersey girl for life. I was still watching wrestling even when AJ came in the early years. So I have a very familiarity of AJ and, when she was the Divas champion and feuding with Caitlyn and the Bella Twins and everything else. But this is a full circle moment. And she's everyone's favorite wrestler. And also, she's going to bring that Jersey girl's attitude spunk to the man, Becky Lynch. And I just want to see Becky continue to crash out anyway. I just want to see her crash out.
Also, WWE, if anyone ever listens to me ever, I really want you to bring back her t-shirt but said thank you therapy, because I went to buy it and then they pulled it and I was like, I want that shirt so bad. Give me that shirt.
Oh man. Well, there it is right there. WWE. And we have Liv Morgan taking on Stephanie Vaquer for the Women's World Championship.
I'm going with Liv. I'm going with Liv. I mean, her family is flying out. And WrestleMania is a family type of event anyway, but between the two, and it's no shade on Stephanie at all, but again, it's WrestleMania. Going with Liv.
So I love Stephanie. I love Stephanie with all my heart. They're putting a lot of money behind Liv right now with that music video rollout and stuff. So I could see them trying to strap a rocket to her. My logic tells me Liv, but my heart just wants Stephanie to have it a little longer. So I'm going to go with Stephanie, and I'm probably wrong, but I'm okay with that.
I would go with Stephanie retaining, but I just have this feeling that Liv Morgan is somehow going to win this match. And also, for some odd reason, people think Raquel's going to turn on her. I think Roxanne's going to be the one to turn on her first. Because when you think about it, who brought her into Judgment Day? Finn. And they kicked Finn out of Judgment Day.
This is true.
So I know people say Raquel, but I think it's going to be Roxanne to be the one to turn on Liv. But I am picking.
Don't forget the Dirty Dom factor between the three before she got injured. So it's possible.
It is possible, but I am going to take Liv Morgan to be the new champion. I mean, you can't kill her momentum. She's doing media tour. She was on the cover of Paper magazine. She has a music video. Like, her and Dom had their own cover spread of Paper magazine, and you can't beat that.
And she just was on Holly Madison's new podcast.
There you go.
Add into like one of my other subcultures I love so much is Girls Next Door and Holly Madison. I was like, look at Liv Morgan on Holly Madison's podcast.
There you go. And she was also on Pod Meets World podcast with Daniel Fisher, Will Friedle, and Ryder Strong. So we have Seth Rollins taking on Gunther.
Wow. This is tough. Victoria, go first.
Okay, so I will say first, this is probably the match I care about the least because I think the buildup has been ridiculous. With that, though, I think Seth, because if you want to protect Gunther as the retirement guy, like if they're trying to make him into the new legend killer, like retire everyone guy, you can't have him beat Seth and then Seth continue to wrestle.
That's a solid argument. It is. I like both. I like the sing along. I hate Gunther's new music, though. I wish he would go back to the old music. But, for similar reasons, I would go with Gunther if he's truly it. Seth can lose and be okay. I don't think Gunther can take another hit and still be considered unless they're planning on taking him in another direction.
Unless, this is my one theory, is this where Braun Breaker comes back?
That part right there.
Because that protects Gunther.
Saving him for another match, but I see your point.
He is cleared. That could be a possibility. I'm going to pick Seth to win this. I don't think this is going to hurt Gunther in a way. And with the fact, too, as you mentioned, Victoria, the elephant in the room, Braun Breaker, because he still has issues with the vision, even though the other two guys have issues in the match. You got to remember Braun Breaker, and they're going to have a match. If it's not a Backlash, I could see it building up, leading to SummerSlam between Braun Breaker and Seth Rollins, because you got to find some big matches to help out with your biggest event of the summer. So I'm going to pick Seth for the victory. Oh, and before we get into night 2, this is the main event for night 1. Cody Rhodes, Randy Orton for the WWE Undisputed title, and we got Pat McAfee.
Isn't that sad? Isn't that just sad, though?
Look at that man in that photo. Which one of these does not belong?
Oh gosh, I would love to see Randy hit 15. But I see Cody pulling it out, but possibly not good Cody. We could see a turn here. Just depends. It pains me because I'm rooting for Randy, but I'm gonna go with Cody. I can't deal with McAfee in Dude's Corner.
Victoria.
I originally thought they were going to have Randy win 15, and that's what's going to make Cody spiral into like dark side Cody, for lack of a better way, like his dark,
Raheem.
But then you add in Pat.
Raheem.
Yeah.
That's what you did there.
Then you add in Pat. And I just want I just want to shut Pat up. That is where I am as a fan. I don't want to see Pat anymore. I want him to go away. I want him to come back in 6 months and commentary again and yeet. Okay. I don't want this version of Pat McAfee. So like the annoying part of me wants Cody to win just so Pat goes away. Or maybe we get a double turn. Maybe Randy wins and still turns on Pat and Cody still goes dark. That would only be the way to make this like wrap it up in a pretty bow for me. Is if Pat McAfee gets RKO'd at the very end.
That could happen.
I could see a double turn happening in this match. I can see that because I don't think anybody booed Randy since he's turned heel.
Oh,
no
God.
one has booed.
No.
But this is really tough because Cody's a champ. I would like to see Randy finally get 15, but not in the corner of Pat McAfee. I don't want to see that happening because Pat McAfee would just be super annoying if he won the belt. He would be very annoying. Like, not even like manager, but like annoying. But I'm going to pick QB1 to retain the belt. I'm picking QB1. But that wraps up night 1 of WrestleMania. Tomorrow, I don't know if we're going to have a watch along tomorrow. It's a possibility. But you can catch the first 2 matches, as we mentioned, on ESPN2. And then you can watch it on the ESPN app. And also, if you don't want to spend any money, Women's Wrestling Talk has a NordVPN that you can watch it. So you don't have to worry about anything else. You could watch WrestleMania, you could watch Raw, you could watch SmackDown on the NordVPN, and it's very affordable if you want budget and if you don't want to spend anything. So I had to put that plug in there. But that wraps up night 1. Night 2, we already know this is going to be one of the matches that are going to kick off. And this is one of the most anticipated matches everybody's been wondering. Brock Lesnar taking on the ruler, Oba Femi. Who do you
Honestly,
got?
for me, and I love Oba, I do. But if Brock is not retiring, Oba is going to get F5 5 times, maybe more. There is no way the Beast has taken the hits, the licks and things that he's taken over the last few weeks and end up laying on his back. At WrestleMania? No. And one way to do it, to keep it clean, and this is where I was, talking about the insertion of Mr. Breaker, because he is a Heyman guy. Brock is not going to be around for long. He's going to be leaving soon. Braun versus Obo would be an outstanding program. until Brock returns. So I could see Lesnar retaining with the possible assist from Mr. Breakker.
Mhm.
So as some people may know, if they've watched in the past, am not a Brock Lesnar fan. I would have been happy if Brock Lesnar never would have come back. That's just my personal opinion of him. I really want Oba to win this. With that promo Oba did on last week, the lead up, I just feel like he has shown he is ready for this big push. He's ready for like the next step. And so I don't know, like in my heart, I just want it to be Oba. And I feel like this is probably what's coloring this. And I'll be all honest with y'all. I'm so mad that he beat Taker. The fact that Braun Lesnar was the person to break the streak. Some part of me is like, don't let the guy who's coming up be beat by this man.
The streak shouldn't have been broken.
Right. So I feel like Lesnar has always been colored for me because of that. Because Taker was the first person I watched. He was the character I fell in love with as a wrestling fan. And I just like Oba as a person, and I love the little walk.
Oh yeah, we can be doing that too. However, unless the man is retiring, and I could be wrong. I could totally be wrong because I love me some Oba, and he is a star. But Oba losing to Brock is not going to kill his career. He would have gone down to the beast and he'll come back. Brock going down to Oba, big guy, has everything, all of the qualities, everything's there. I just don't see it unless they're paying Brock a boatload of money.
That part right there. That part. And also with the fact too, even though I don't like some of the stuff Brock has been doing on the other circumstances, he does draw money, attention, and he does have the star power, which unfortunately, but I don't think this is going to kill Oba. I would love for Oba Femi to win. I don't think a loss would kill him. I think it would help build this momentum. And plus, they may meet again in round 2, probably at SummerSlam in Minneapolis. So that's another thing too. But I am going to pick Brock only because I do have concerns. I know everybody wants Oba to win, but I'm just
do that. I know.
I'm just ready for the crash out on socials to happen if Brock wins. I'm just being prepared and gonna get a kick out of some of these reactions on socials if Brock wins.
Listen, someone just send me extra wine. Some wine, some cheese, some pepperoni.
I'm just gonna sip my tea and just soak it all in with all these reactions. But that is one of the matches that will kick off night 1. We also have this other match that's going to kick off night 2 as well. The ladder match for the Intercontinental Championship match. We have JD McDonough, Dragon Lee, Penta, Javon Evans, Rey Mysterio, and Rusev.
Interesting. I think it'll be between Javon and JD, and I'm going to go take a risk here, and I'm going to say, even though I love JD, I love the bad guys, but I'm going with Javon. He's gotten such a push as of late in his WrestleMania. I'm going to go with Javon.
I think this is going to be one of the most fun matches of the night because the styles you have here in a ladder match, I mean, I will forever say that TLC 2 is probably one of my favorite matches of all time. This with what they could possibly do, knowing the athletic abilities of some of the people in this match, might be up there. With that, I think Ray Ray is on his farewell tour a little bit, and I think it's going to kick off with him winning this title.
He could. You're absolutely right.
That is a possibility because Ray is almost at the end of the tunnel. It's funny, Victoria, you brought up some ladder matches with TLC 2. Going back a little further to the triangle ladder match at WrestleMania 2000, and also the first ever Money in the Bank ladder match from WrestleMania 21 in LA. I'm just happy they brought a ladder match back. Wish it was Money in the Bank, but that's a different conversation for that. I definitely think this is going to steal the show. I know people talk about Lesnar and Oba, but this is probably going to steal the show, and I'm happy that we do see some of the stars. I mean, nothing against Ray. I just wish it was someone else that took that spot on Raw, but that's a conversation to have. But I understand why they gave it to Ray. But it just feels so nice to see a ladder match again. I'm actually going to pick Penta to retain the IC title. I just think Penta's been on a hot streak and everything else. He's been challenging people left to right as Intercontinental Champion and just has that aura and that swag that he does in moves. It's like, come on. You can't deny the presence of Penta. but that's what I'm picking. I'm picking Penta. Okay. And we have the Demon, Finn Balor, taking on Dirty Dominic Mysterio.
I complete transparency, because my judgment day is coming apart here. I still say Dirty Dom a couple of years ago had one of the best WrestleMania entrants when he came out in that paddy wagon, masked up, handcuffed security guards, and that music blaring. I was like, yay, Dirty Dom, I'm with you. But because it's WrestleMania, and because they beat the you-know-what out of Finn, and because this is Finn the Demon, I'm going with Balor.
Victoria?
I'm so excited to see the Demon back. I can't even tell you. Because also, if you remember, that same WrestleMania 39 was probably one of the last times I remember seeing the Demon. And that match, because Edge ended up getting injured during it, was not my favorite match of the night. Okay, let's just put it that way. It was kind of lackluster to me. So I feel like this is redemption for the Demon. I think it's going to be an amazing match. I do think it's going to be the Demon. And then please, Taker, whoever for AAA, give me the Demon versus Iguana.
That'll be anticipated. That'll be anticipated too. I mean, come on. I'm going with Balor Club. I'm going with the Demon. I mean, I can't root against the Demon, especially Finn Balor. And I wish Honey was on, because we've been saying for months Finn Balor needs to go solo. And that man needs to. And everybody says, oh, well, he can't do the main event and all that stuff. Yes, he does. It's just timing and just bad creative decisions. I still believe he can be in there. And with the fact he faced off against CM Punk, that just shows he still has it. I mean, people may not see it, but I do. So I'm picking the Demon. I'm going with Balor Club. 100% all the way. Oh. And you can tell it's warmer weather outside because people are riding their motorcycles. That's warmer weather. We do have the WWE Women's Championship match. Jade Cargill taking on Rhea Ripley.
I think Rhea will finally reclaim the championship unless Jade gets an assist. Even though I love Jade, support Jade, and Jade can get the belt back, her losing to Rhea is not going to hurt her career. I'm going with Rhea unless Jade gets assistance from a certain braid twirler who, from what I understand, is in training to come back. So that would be an interesting take and one way to bring her back and to get that real necessary pop.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I can't go against my mommy. I'm going with Rhea. Yeah, I think it's time. I think there's been some clunkiness to the build to this match. And so I think like they're gonna go for the pop of mommy finally getting solo gold back.
Yeah. It's kind of crazy because I was telling this to you, Hope, on Wednesday that Jade Cargill only had one title defense. This is her second one. The first one was against Jordan Grace. Fortunately, there has been a lackluster on SmackDown because many women has been with other feuds, and apparently that's where they had to break the emergency glass saying, hey, we're going to bring Rhea to Friday Night SmackDown to help out with Jade. There was some build up where it did start off hot, was a little bit lukewarm in between, but I don't think this is going to hurt Jade if she loses. I wouldn't have a problem with Rhea Ripley being champion. I think this could be a good opportunity for Rhea to kind of reset after WrestleMania and just develop a few little challengers. Jordan Grace is back. Like, she's coming back from an injury. I wouldn't mind seeing like Jordan Grace have some interaction with Rhea. We may be getting some call-ups from NXT after WrestleMania, so who knows? Everything's in the horizon, but I think I'm going to take Rhea Ripley. I feel like if Bianca is going to come back, I need to see her and Jay go one-on-one. No titles involved, just one-on-one. And then we have Sami Zayn taking on Mr. Lemon Pepper Steppers, Trick Williams, for the U.S. title.
Better be Trick, and that's all I'm going to say.
Yeah. Listen, I'm in agreement. Whoop that Trick. Let's do it.
I don't think this is going to hurt Sammy if he loses. I'm not going to lie. Trick Williams, since he's came in there, he just had that aura about him. And being in TNA did help. When he was in TNA, it really did help. Really build up that development, even with NXT. So it has brought in there. He has the white leather coat. He's got the lemon pepper steppers. He got the pants. And Little Yachty, even though sometimes I want to smack him upside his head because
girl, say it again.
There are times I want to smack him upside his head because it's like, okay, you're being his lackey, which is good, but sometimes you're overdoing it a bit, sir.
But can y'all imagine the entrance of Trick? Literally, his entrance is going to be, it's over the top anyway, but it's going to be over just because it's Mania. Wow.
Yes. I am, and I don't think it's Jeffrey Trick Williams. Yes, if you did see the disc Trick Williams and Little Yachty did earlier to Sami Zayn, it's called Gingerbread Man.
Yes, I want a Gingerbread Man shirt. I want a shirt.
The other week, I'm like, oop, there you go.
That's just. Yeah, don't be shocked if that comes on SmackDown tonight. Don't be shocked if they reference Gingerbread Man again.
Yeah.
But I'm gonna pick Trick Williams to be the new U.S. champion. It's not gonna hurt Sammy. I need Sammy to be heel. I need Sammy to be heel because I still believe he's gonna be world champion. Just have him go the heel route. Be the bad guy. Nothing wrong with being a bad guy, Sammy. And then we have this match. That's our main event for night 2. CM Punk, the Second City Saint, taking on the original tribal chief, Roman Reigns.
I love and appreciate Punk. Uh-oh, did we lose her?
Oh, Victoria. I guess she had to deal with her kid. Hold on.
Uh-oh.
Oh, she's coming right back.
Okay, cool.
But you were saying regarding
I love and appreciate Punk, but I will never in this lifetime go against the tribal chief. I'm going with Roman, but the question is going to be, if Roman wins, are the fans in general, the WWE universe, going to be ready for a part-time champion? Because we know Roman's going to bounce and Punk is there, and it makes a difference. I love him. For life, but that's the reality of it. I think it may come down to that, especially in the situation that the company is in. Roman is Roman, but Punk is there.
that. I have mixed thoughts about this, especially with the back and forth with the promos they had, because it did start off hot.
Oh, it did.
Started off lukewarm, then it started off head scratcher, and now here we are. I know Roman's did everything he's done and support him. My concern is if he does win, obviously you mentioned the part-time status. Who does WWE and TKO think can overstep Roman? Because I'm looking at the whole roster of Raw. I mean, outside of Seth and Gunther and CM Punk, it's like nobody wants to see him versus LA Knight again because they already saw what happened when he did it the first time. Same thing with him versus Finn.
Mm-hmm.
And also, it's kind of like, well, I know people really want to. I would like to see Gunther. Like, if Roman wins, I mean, could you let Gunther be the one to dethrone it? And obviously, people have been asking for him versus Seth, but I know Seth has other things to deal with the Vision. So that's my major concern: is if it's not Punk or Seth or Gunther, who do you think would be the one to dethrone Roman if he wins the title?
Possibly Oba if he defeats Brock. And that's a big if, but he could certainly be a contender.
That is true. He can shoot up to be a contender. That's not a problem with that. That's my concern when I don't want to pick Roman, because I'm actually going to pick CM Punk to retain. Because if I look at one of the two, I feel like CM Punk needs to win more than Roman, because Roman already achieved star power. He's that's why he's called the tribal chief. He's already achieved star power.
He has, but I guess it'll be curious to see how the crowd responds if Roman wins, if Punk wins. I mean, who's going to get the loudest boos?
Yeah, that's always a
Gotta
thing.
keep that and Roman. There was a time Roman was booed out of the building and did nothing wrong, but this was also pre-tribal chief. This was big dog Roman.
I could say this because I was at SummerSlam for Barclays Center, him versus Brock Lesnar. It wasn't boos, it was go away heat for the both of them. It was go away heat, and I was there watching that match.
But it'll be a good one, though. It will be memorable, and there's who's to say someone won't interfere?
That is a possibility. That is a possibility.
I mean, they both have their enemies, that's for sure.
They have a long list of laundry when it comes to enemies. A long list. But that wraps up night 1 and night 2 of WrestleMania, doing our bold predictions. And I know Victoria had to hop out because she had to deal with the situation, but we do forgive her for that. But that wraps up our bold predictions and our packed edition of Friday's edition of WWT Live, because we got to get out of here because we got SmackDown at the top of the hour. We have the WWE Hall of Fame happening tonight. And as you know, we have night 1 tomorrow and night 2
of WrestleMania.
Yes, WrestleMania.
Sorry, I'm sorry.
No, hey, this is WrestleMania weekend. We gotta feel excited. It's finally here. The showcase of the Immortals, the show everybody talks about the world. So very happy to see. And Hope, where can the people find you?
On the socials, Miss Hope 0621. Follow me on Pro Wrestling Post. Read some of the articles. Let me know what you like. Let me know what you like to hear. And again, such a pleasure. And I hope everyone has fun. And my goodness, with everything that's going on, let's not forget Raw after Mania. Sometimes some of the biggest surprises stem from that.
That part right there. You don't want to miss the Raw and the SmackDown after WrestleMania, because there's a lot of surprises happening. The people can always find me chirping periodically on WWT Live as much as I can. Wednesdays, you know, it's Timeless Elite Wednesdays with me because I handle AEW Dynamite. We're on the road to Double or Nothing. We already have our first match on the card, Takeshita Okada for the International Championship in Queens, New York at Double or Nothing. But there will be more matches happening as we continue the road to Double or Nothing. Obviously, of course, we have the Owen Hart Cup men and women's tournament. Just finding out who's going to get it, we don't know. Also, You can find me on my socials at CourtneyNJ11 on Twitter and Instagram. So you can find all the content that I'm doing. Also, please shout out to Bill Boykin and the entire Pop Break team, because I had the chance to be a part of their all-star article talking about my poll predictions between Jade Cargill and Rhea Ripley, and also the fatal four-way match for the women's tag team championships. So it is up now on the Pop Break, and I'm sharing my thoughts, and do want to thank Bill Boken, Rob Williams, BCP, the Pop Break, everybody for including me in that roundup. It was definitely a great opportunity. Also, make sure to check out some of the latest interviews our boss lady TK Trinidad did on Women's Wrestling Talk. It is stellar. Also, shout out to the entire team of WWT Live, especially the ones that are on site. Said, Christina, TK, everybody is on site for Vegas enjoying. I did see some of the photos that are happening in the chat. Also, for everybody that's there, please enjoy yourselves. Make it a great experience. It's a once in a lifetime opportunity.
Yes.
Network. I'm going to keep saying network as you go. Make sure to come out to many shows as you can. Also, make sure to see some of the stars and treat the wrestlers as human beings, as we talk about on WWT. But want to give a shout out to everybody in the chat. Shout out to Jeffrey, Lynette, Cousin Ron, even our mayor said popped in the chat. Our producer from the future, Dylan, for getting all the clips. Christopher Leclerc, all of you for joining us on this special Friday edition of the night before WrestleMania 42. And we may be doing a watch along tomorrow. I have to find out in the chat. But thank you all for joining Women's Wrestling Talk, the #1 women's wrestling network on the planet. Have a great weekend and enjoy WrestleMania.
Thanks for joining WWT. Don't forget to like us on all social media platforms at WW Talk Pod. Like and subscribe on all video and audio platforms like yesterday, my G. And check out our website at www.talkpod.com. Thanks for watching Women's Wrestling Talk, the #1 women's wrestling network on the planet.